Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's Brook Township regular board meeting, October 9th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Please stand and rise to pledge allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As a reminder, Scott Stoltzfus, in accordance with Resolution 2-2012, is in the back video recording tonight's meeting for posting on YouTube, and it's also being recorded for the Zoom platform. Go over to open forum on action items. That would mean something that's actually on the agenda. All right, we'll start with this side of the room. Valerie? Erin?
Quick question, regarding number 4 under new business, with regards to conservation easement on parcel 12-2-9. This parcel is in the borough, not the township.
One of them is in the borough, one is in. Yeah, so the township's funding is only going towards the easement on the portion that's within the township, but they are easing both tracts. And the township will be an easement holder, and the Brandywine Conservancy will be, a beneficiary and enforcer of that easement. The county's obviously departmental, so they've applied through the county program.
Okay,
Both pieces.
but the township went for conservation money for funding that.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
thanks.
I guess that is right near the borough line.
It is, yeah. It's, the parcels are next to each other and just straddled. It really probably divided just
Because of the borough and township line. Right? Anyone on that same side of the room have anything that they'd like to comment on tonight that is already on the agenda? Or ask any questions about it? How about on the other side of the room, over this side? Everybody? Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve items 1 through 14 for our consent agenda?
Make a motion.
Do you have number 14? Yes, it came in this morning. So if you click on the agenda now, you'll see that it is there. It was not there yesterday afternoon, but it came in overnight.
Number 14 for the audience is the Honeybrook Fire Company report for September 2024. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next we'll move over to department reports. Item 1, board of supervisors.
No report.
All right. All right, we'll go to Don, who it doesn't look like he's here today.
He is not here, but he left me a lovely note. The storm sewer project on Talbotville Road is now complete. The roads crew has been cutting brush on various roads. They are not quite done yet. And next they will be cleaning leaves from the ditches and getting the equipment ready for snow and ice season, which is around the corner. So that is Don's report.
That's when everybody knows what Don is doing,
Yes.
when there's snow and ice. Okay, 3 would be you, Kristy.
Yes. So by all accounts, Harmony Day went well. The community partnership will meet next Tuesday to discuss their Make a Difference Day and holiday plans. And really the only other note I have is we do have our Toys for Tots box in the lobby. Let's do what we did last year and exceed the first box and start second. And Election day is around the corner. The administrative staff will be working remotely, answering phones, and remoting in with our computers so that we don't take up parking spaces. But the offices will be completely closed on Monday, November 11th, of course, in observance of Veterans Day. So that is all I have on my report.
Thank you. Item 4 would be Warren, our township manager.
As always, please accept my written report, and if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you. Item 5, I believe we have Rocky here from the Hoiney Library.
I'm next.
You're next.
You're next.
Well, you're now.
Sal, Tracy, and Laura. I want to give you a status of our library. I think you got documents here that Warren passed out to you. Minutes from the librarian, status of September, what things were going on, and our request for additional funds to help us with our paving efforts to comply with the HOP program in the state of Pennsylvania. I want to talk about 3 things. Really, what's our status? When is the library going to be finished? And where are we? Our challenges that we have in keeping a lot of us up at night. And what's the future look like? Our status is, as of today, they're starting. By the way, has everybody seen our website? And on Facebook and all the pictures we have on the construction, it's just absolutely awesome what's going on that library. So today they're starting to drywall in mud, and it's going to really take shape to really look like those extensions in the community center, our youth and children's section, and our historical section. If you haven't had the opportunity to go down here and get tours from our librarian, please do so, because it's just absolutely awesome to see. It's just really incredible. The community room is almost this size, maybe a little bit smaller, and that's just dedicated to the community. And it's just something that's never been happening here in Chester County at all. All the libraries don't have anything like that. So it's pretty impressive what we're doing. And so we think we're going to have a Christmas opening when everything is done. I got the final schedule here. We're looking at it. 12/23 is when our walkthrough is for our key ceremony we have. And so right before Christmas, that library should be done. And we hope everything, 150 days, May 15th is when we start. Challenges, we have a few. We made a conscious decision, the trustees did, of doing everything that was on that plan to make happen at that library. Wasn't piecemeal at all. We took a significant financial risk to do that. We're working very hard to, we have a 13% overrun, not due to, well, you know, our economy is not doing that great, or a chain of our building materials have taken a hit, but we're working through all those issues, and we should come out on the other side pretty much stable. But we are still asking for help, not only from the township, but we have a wide range of activities that we're doing in order to help us close our financial deficit to do that. And I know we have a request in for some money from you all to look at and to decide what you want to do. But we're moving forward. It's going to be a great thing for us. The future looks great. We're going to have a facility that's going to help us. It's going to be a showpiece of the township. It's going to be just absolutely awesome. And I really want the public to go in and see what we've got going on. We have we still are soliciting donations and funds to help us out. We are getting some money coming in, and the public's been very good. But it's going to be a showpiece of this community when it's finished. We decided to go full bore, and we could have stopped construction to make sure we didn't have exceed our funds, but we made a decision not to do that. We want to complete it and make it a wholesome piece, and then I think you'll be pleasantly surprised on that. Are there any questions?
Yeah, Rocky, what's your fund difference? What's your fund difference?
$244,000, $873. I'm a costing engineer, so I'm sorry, correct me, I got my spreadsheet, I'll give you guys a copy of it. Okay, so 226,801, that's what we need to close. But now, we've asked you for some funds from the township to help, we're working on other things. I'll give you this costing sheet, this is a spreadsheet of everything that every dime that we spent, everything is going on, and I keep pretty close tabs on this money. And so, well, like I said, we made a conscious decision to finish the place. And that was a very heroic thing by our trustees to do. By the way, when we picked your trustees, you did a pretty good job of the people that's on that board. There's a lot of leadership there, and working really hard. Stacy, Pop, you know who Stacy is. Nancy Johnson, they're both PEs, worked for Roy Weston, by the way. They did absolutely, I couldn't survive without them. They've done a great job. The other trustees that we have running our campaign, our money campaign, have done a great job with the tree. We have a legacy tree that you can put your family names or whatever you want to remember your loved ones. We have various amounts of money. It's doing really well, and it's a tree. It's a tree, and it has little leaves on it and stuff like that. And it's been helping us with our fundraising very well, very much. So.
What's there's a difference in the trees, right? Or the tree that.
Right, we have leaves that are a certain amount of money. We have acorns that are more money, and we have doves that are more money. We also have naming rights and conventions to each of the wings, which we were hoping that businesses in Honeybrook would take on, or donors pay for each of the wings that we have. They're still open and available, so you can remember your loved ones, or a company can decide to do that. So we have procedures set up to do that, and that's what I mean. We have a good setup on how to bring in the funds that we need to finish this project off. So we're just, I think when the public sees what we got in there, I really believe they're going to be more enthusiastic about wanting to be part of that effort. And but it's just an awesome work. The contractors, by the way, are doing an absolute professional job. And I know our Technicon has been out here many times approving the work that's being done. And first class work. The contractors, we have 4 primes that are doing an absolutely stellar job on that work. And so we were very fortunate. Just meeting with them today. We meet with 5. We meet with them every month. Any other questions? Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
So the question is, the board has your ask in the 2025 budget. When would these funds to do the pavement be needed? Would it be needed in 2024, or could it wait till 2025?
No, we can't wait for 2025.
So you'd ask that the board consider giving that donation this year?
Please.
And this is for the board's benefit, at the budget discussion that we had last week at our workshop, under the general fund of 45673, we do have a $42,000 library capital contribution that I believe we discussed. And I think if the board wants to give you your feedback, we could potentially have this as a motion for next month. We cut a check and then we.
Now that's different than the operating funds.
Correct, yes. Yeah, this is a capital.
You guys have been great. I mean, I feel the township has been absolutely great helping us out. And we appreciate anything you do for us.
So we could do a budget amendment at the end of this year, and then we would just remove the capital contribution for 2025, because we would leave it this way. So my point of view is if the board's okay giving it next year. We, as we had discussed last week, we are believing that we're going to have a surplus of $244,000, surplus over deficit, so we could give that donation this year without hurting the bottom line. It's going to be plus.
And that was for the HOV, which was, how much, what was it, 40?
I left you the, I believe it provided you the change order from contractor was 41,000.
It is, I have it here, $41,912, so we just rounded up to 42. But the actual number is 41,912. And according to the notes that Rocky gave me, it's actually on the drawing sheets, right on the plan, on pages 1 through 7. So there should be a.
We got approval, by the way, from, to proceed on that.
On the highway occupancy permit, okay, so PennDOT's okay.
They approved our, McCarthy Engineering did a pretty good job, they're paid the money for it, obviously, but they did a pretty good job. The state was really hard to please, by the way. But we got through that process.
Are you interested in us having this being an agenda item for?
I think we should have,
Yes.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. Any questions from the, yes?
I have a question. So what was the anticipated budget for the library?
For the construction effort?
Just the entire budget for the construction?
Oh, okay, I have it on my spreadsheet here. The total amount came, $1.7 million.
And so you're gonna come final?
We had $1.4 million in our, what we had in our funds. So for the differential of 226. When we originally started construction, it was 150. And we said if that was reachable 150 days ago, meaning we could fundraise to get that down. But as you can see from the sheet I have, we have a lot of change orders from the contractor. The problem with when we were required to use the lowest bid. And some contractors, the electrical contractor, 20% increase. You found this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem. 8 change orders we had. And anyway, we dealt with it, we worked it out, and any project has those kinds of things that happen. We only had a 13% overrun, which I think on a big project, that isn't a lot. But when you're a nonprofit, you don't really know where you're gonna get the money from. And so we had tremendous support from donations from people. With the tree as well, $1,500, $2,000, $5,000, $25,000. The landfill gave us $10,000, Chester County landfill. Just a lot of generosity, but it's still a thing we're working on. But we made a big commitment not to piecemeal this thing, meaning we had a complete engineering drawings and stuff like that. And we decided to go into deep water, or toes into deep water, and make it a complete project. Not go back and go back and go back and go back and stuff. Have you ever been out there yet and seen it?
Mm-hmm. I haven't been in it, but looking back, do you think it might have been better just to knock it down and start over?
No, I'm afraid not. I mean,
For $1.7 million?
that's, believe it or not, that's relatively inexpensive compared to the old Kenneth's library. Kenneth's library was $27 million. And they overrun it by at least $10 million.
How much are the other communities that library is serving, providing the funding?
We're serviced by, the primary one, of course, is Honeybrook. That's a question you asked me. West Avenue, West Callan, and Honeybrook Borough. Those townships have they contribute to our operating fund, and they do a good job of that. This past summer, I went on a stump tour, gave them asked them what we're doing and what we'd like them to help us with. We have yet to see any money yet from them, but so Honeybrook Township has been really putting a lot of foot forward and helping us a lot. But I think they'll bring us some money to help. But we service them, and according to our records, we have close to 17 or 18,000 people that, and the population of this area is only 2,500, something like that. But these other townships come to us as well, and we support them. And I think we do a pretty good job. But it's always an issue. It's always an issue.
I agree. I would just like to see the other communities that get served by your library to also.
We've been
put some skin in the game.
trying. This summer, I told you, I went to all the township meetings and presented them all plans and showed them what we're doing and how we're doing it and stuff like that. And we told them we would like to have them help us. That's about all we can do. And so, but anyway, I think in the end, I think they will, once they see it up and running and how it looks. It's just impressive how it looks, inside and outside. It's just impressive. And all the things that the thing can do for the community. And all the kids that come through that place, oh my gosh. Just a lot of children come through that place. Anyway, any questions? I haven't getting too much sleep lately, I'll tell you that right now. Thank you very much. Thank you, Warren. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that 13% overrun for that size project, and that amount of money, I think you guys did a good job.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I can go, right? Bye.
Okay, land preservation. I don't think we,
I don't see anybody, but obviously we have one easement coming up for, on tonight's
Item.
agenda. Yep.
And their next meeting is on Tuesday.
okay. Planning commission, we do have several members of the planning commission here.
You want to report?
Sure. Yes, please.
I'm prepared, but we moved everything on with the exception of the SDR ordinance. We spent some time on discussion on that, and I think the plans are to continue that this month. If we have a meeting, do we have something?
That is what you are talking about.
That's the only thing on the agenda?
At this
Okay.
very moment, yes.
Short-term, STR is short-term rental, just for anyone who knows that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll be talking about this month, and hopefully we'll get a recommendation that we can send forward to you folks.
Thank you, Gary. Parks and Rec?
I was asked to give the report. The chair is overseas. So I met with them for the budget workshop and meeting last month. They had a Boy Scout that is planning on doing an informational board build out at James Umble Park. So he met with Don, and they're going to go over and look at some sites where they wish to put that informational sign, and then Don will help mark out and do the 811 call. He needs to do it. He has some type of deadline. I think it's next year. So he's currently fundraising. We talked about the budget. The board had seen the requests at last week's budget meeting. They would like to revisit the regional master plan, so I'm going to be reaching out to the landscape architect and inquiring to get a proposal of what it would cost to open that back up. And Rec and Park agrees that some updates still need to occur, but we want to do it in a fiscally responsible way. So I think the best course of action is to reopen the master plan, take a look at it with the current Rec and Park board, discuss it with the Board of Supervisors and see what level of money the township is comfortable spending to maybe do an update to the park. And then we can seek community engagement and hopefully have that master plan come back. So part of that is that they did not wish to do the tennis courts and resurfacing. The thought is they might wish to think about removing one of the baseball fields. And an easier way to get some free parking would be to utilize the current basketball and tennis courts, especially if they would remove one field and start putting some of those facilities in that spot where we would open up the park, so we can get free parking without having to pay for the parking. But because they're not sure, they decided just to not request that. They're going to be $36,000 upgrade, so you do not see that in this year's budget. And that's what they talked about, and we're going to fund for Friday went and see how they can continue to make forward progress and get more people out in the street.
Okay. Thank you. All right, we're on to new business. Item 1, approve or not approve the list of bills for payment as prepared by the treasurer. Do I hear a motion to approve the bills to be paid?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Item 2, motion to recommend a position of support or no support, no position on zoning hearing number 2024-10, variance application of Omar, Stoltzfus, 1235 Beaver Road, tax parcel 22-10-9 to subdivide a 10-acre parcel from a 57-acre parcel such that the new parcel has 6.3% impervious coverage in the agricultural zoning district, which is where there is a 5% allowance from it.
Is there anything here for that application? Do you want to present that request to the board in any way, or discuss it beyond just what's listed here?
I can just give a little background. The property was originally Gideon Stoltzfus' property.
Can you state your name just for?
Yes, I'm sorry. Chris Phillips, County Survey, Brook, yeah. The property was originally Gideon Stoltzfus' property. It contains the parcel that is used, the 10-acre parcel is the parcel that is used by the Amish community. They have a large pond there, and a pavilion, and a garage, and picnics, and a little bit of camping for the Amish community there. The reason that the impervious coverage is so large is because the long driveway. It's a large, long 1,500-foot driveway coming back from Beaver Road. So over half, almost, you almost have 3/4 of that impervious is actually just the driveway coming back from Beaver Dam. So it's not really impacting the major part of the property, but that's the reason why the impervious coverage is so large.
And there's no impervious proposed, it's just drawn a line.
Correct. There's no building on the property proposed or anything. It's just going to continue to be used for agriculture and the Amish community use.
Board, any questions?
No.
Okay, so do I hear a motion to recommend a position of support in regard to that variance application?
Yes, I make a motion to support.
All in favor?
I'll second.
I'm sorry. All in favor? Aye.
I don't think it was stated, but the planning commission did recommend.
Yeah, 5-0. Item 3, motion to take a position of support or not support, take no position on variance application of Melvin Stoltzfus, 281 Walnut Road, tax parcel number 22-4-73.1 to add 1 acre land from a non-conforming 9.5 acre lot to another non-conforming 3 acre lot, resulting in 8.5 and 4 acres in the agricultural zoning district where a minimum lot size of 10 acres is required.
And
I again am here, but I think it's self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, I definitely answer.
is there any reason for this, for the annexation that's relevant for the board's consideration? I think it's just kind of taking lot area from one to the other. Just
Yeah,
in terms of an explanation as to the reason.
yeah, so, the property, the smaller lot is, again, it's well under the non-conforming use. It also will increase the non-conforming impervious coverage on that lot also, so it helps that lot out. It's already quite crowded, so additional 1 acre. There's also the driveway, existing driveway is also over the line by about 4 feet, so we do need to add some property to that lot anyways. So that's the reason for it, so.
Again, planning took a position of support for a vote, by a vote of 3-1 on that, with one member abstaining due to personal involvement. So are there any other questions? Wearing my mic hat.
You're doing fine.
Thanks.
Do I hear a motion to take a position of support on this variance application?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 4, conservation easement for parcels at the southeast corner of Route 10 and Todd Rd. Item A, approve, not approve the execution of agreement for the sale and purchase of an agricultural conservation easement to the county and a local government unit jointly in perpetuity. So, basically, by your motion to approve this ag easement, or agreement of sale for an agricultural conservation easement.
Yes, make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Item B, approve or not approve the execution of a funding agreement to purchase an agricultural conservation easement specifying Honeybrook Township's contribution of $30,840 towards said purchase of $161,700 total. So the total easement would be those two combined amounts, right? And then the township's portion would be the 30, is that what?
Yeah, so the 161,700 is the total.
I see.
Is the total cost. The county is covering a portion of it. I can give you the full number. So the township is contributing $30,840, which represents $1,500 an acre for the 20.56 acres that are in Honeybrook Township. And then the county's price, Brandywine Conservancy's contribution is at $1,875 per acre, again, just for the Honeybrook Township acreage, so their contribution is $38,550. And the county pays the balance, which I don't have a map in front of me, but is just shy of $100,000 at $7,500 per acre.
Okay, so, but our part of the contribution is the $30,840
Yeah, correct.
for the land that's literally that's only in the township. Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the execution of that funding agreement?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, item 5, approve or not approve the township manager to sign a contract number 0040E23-204 with vendor number 539-387 for security camera installation. This was the security cameras for the lobby and the road crew building and whatever.
Yes, it's going to cover the interior public portions of the building. It's going to cover all exterior portions of both the administration building. It'll also cover the exterior portions of the public works department, and then there'll be 2 cameras inside the large garage that covers where the equipment will be stored. Security 5, who is the vendor, is a CoStar's contractor, and you'll see their vendor number there. So the contract is in CoStar's, which means it already comes pre-approved and meets the bidding requirements for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So my ask is that the township approve that. Just for the board's information, we did not budget any money, but we did budget under the capital reserve funds 409030. Maintenance building project, $20,000 this year, which we don't plan on using, so we could do a budget amendment down to the next line item, which would be 409067, which is capital improvements, and again, we would just do a budget adjustment.
Yeah, so we already had 20,000 approved and we're
Just in another,
60
yeah,
for the county.
yeah, we just have to reallocate it, correct.
Okay. Do I hear?
Question.
Yeah. sorry.
Is that a web-based system or?
So it's all in-house. There is remote availability for users, so myself and Don would be able to remote in and check the cameras, but all of the storage would be on an internal server, so we don't pay any maintenance fees. There's no annual subscription. We literally own all of the hardware. It would be stored next door to servers that we currently have on site. So again, it would be a one-time cost, but that does allow us to have remote capabilities into the building outside of the normal.
You switched over every 30 days?
So it's a 30-day, yeah, so it's just a 30-day cycle. It just runs in a big loop on a hard drive, so 30 days should be enough time. Somehow that we'd be able to download and offload that items. The systems are built for expansion, so if you wanted to go up to 60 days, we would just double our storage. Storage is rather cheap if you do it internally. It's expensive to do externally.
Are there any software updates or anything?
I'm sure there would be a software update, but we're not paying, it's not a SaaS, it's a software as a subscription model like on Microsoft, or it would be where you're paying a monthly fee. There's going to be some, it's open source software, so essentially once that program is written, it's written, you don't have to license it whatsoever, and it's from a reputable company. So we also got, I put out a request through the Municipal Manager Association, and several recommended to spend there. They're actually doing several municipal buildings in the county right now, so they have high marks for the municipal managers that have used them. And that can be completed this year.
Good, thanks.
All right. Do I hear a motion to approve item 5?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Item 6, approve, not approve the request of Bethany Warner and her family to donate one skate park bench with a memorial plaque in honor of her deceased brother.
So Ms. Warner showed up at the Park and Rec meetings over the last handful of months, and she had indicated that her brother was a avid skater, and she was part of the ongoing process between the borough and the township to get a skate park over the last 10 or 15 years. So she wanted to have some type of plaque in honor of her brother, and she understood that we had already ordered all the hardware in the facilities, and she's willing to fundraise for the bench and buy the plaque. She is willing to show us the plaque. I think Miranda already has all that information. So it would be already onto one of the benches that has already been approved for the jump phase 1, and they would change it and except add a plaque, and we understand that maintenance of that plaque would be on them. We would try to, obviously, as the road crew does maintenance, try to keep it up, clean and well maintained, but should something happen to the plaque, that would be on them to remedy the damage. So that is that request.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
Yes, make a motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor? Aye. Item 7, approve or not approve the application for payment number 4 in the amount of $43,858.98 for the James Umble Memorial Park Skate Project, or payments, park project.
So again, this is the 4th request from the contractor who won the award for James Umble Memorial Park Skate Park. As you can see, if you drive by, it's coming together pretty good. They did lay down the grass, it seems to be growing, so they have to get some tunos in before we are willing to take that over. So it seems to have really taken place. That helps with the erosion and sediment control. They graded it. As you can see in the release request, the landscape architect, who is the project manager, went through it and recommended the release amount in front of you.
Do I hear a motion to approve item 7?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Item H, Other new business. Item I, old business. J, open forum, any other matter. This side of the room. Is there anything? Erin? Erin was first.
Erin, 1025 White School. Sorry I missed your budget workshop meeting last week. I did have a couple questions though. The first one, I noticed we have $218,500 budgeted for health insurance for 2025, which is up by like almost $100,000 from back in 2021. So only like 4 years ago. Pretty significant. So I just had a couple questions about how the health insurance benefit is managed by the township. Does the township pay 100% of the premium, or is there an employee contribution?
Would you like me to answer?
Yes, please.
The township covers all of the premiums.
So there's no employee contribution?
Correct.
Does the township only pay for the employee portion, or do we cover dependents as well?
Dependents as well.
Okay. And when is the renewal?
I would have to look.
Renewal, okay. And when the renewal comes in, do we compare our current company with other companies?
Through the manager consortium, we see what other municipalities pay for similar services, so yes.
No, I'm not saying what other municipalities pay, I'm saying like if you have IBC, do you see what Edna or Keystone or cost would be with those other companies?
We did this year, but every company, we do take a look.
Yeah, that's the practice, is to look at that every year. And also, do you consider alternate plans that would reduce premiums?
We pick the plan that the township is comfortable providing to the employees. But they do give us options.
Yeah, I just think that's a really significant increase.
I think most insurance is up though right now. It's over a 30% increase. So that's pretty much not just a township problem.
Well, personally, we just have a renewal coming up, it's a 4% increase.
We also have more staff than we did in 2021.
Yeah. But paying for 100% of the premium for the individual independents?
It's tough keeping good workers.
What's that?
It's tough keeping good workers.
Oh, I understand, we have a company. My next question is regarding the $250,000 mower we're purchasing. Has the township ever done a cost analysis on what it would cost to subcontract the mowing versus doing it ourselves?
Subcontract roadside mowing, it would probably be astronomical because they're doing it 30 to 40 hours a week.
So we have.
We used to pay a part-time employee.
But I'm saying there are companies that you can subcontract out, to at least get a price to know how much it would cost to have somebody else do it versus.
It's gonna cost more.
Right, okay, but we can't be sure of that because we don't know.
So we used to pay for contracted mowing of the township park. We've substantially saved tens of thousands of dollars a year doing it ourselves.
If you sub that part out, then you have to sub other parts out too that they do, because if you start losing employees and then you gotta go do asphalt repair or other services, fences, whatever, then you're gonna be subbing everything out. So you might as well just take out, if you're looking at that potential line, and usually across, train your employees to do everything, probably not.
Correct, the staff,
Snow plowing, et cetera, so if you start.
the road department staff
eliminating
does,
big chunks of what you do, then you're gonna be subbing out more of what you do, so overall, I can't see where that would possibly save money. Just common sense tells you that from that point of view, if you've got 5 employees and you're taking 1.5 employees out, when it comes to snow removal or something else, when you need 4 or 5 trucks to move, wherever usually we are already using subs on some of our snow removal. So you're gonna be using more subs. So to save that minimal amount of landscaping for cutting grass, to me, it's nothing. That's just my.
I'm not saying reducing employees, I'm just saying you're looking at buying a mower that's $250,000. And to do a function that could be subcontracted out, and if we don't know how much that will cost, how can we decide if that's a good idea or not? I'm not talking about reducing employees.
So I think it's altogether safety.
Well, we know, I mean, we know what we pay for an hourly snowplow removal for a truck and an employee. It's not gonna be less than that. So if we're paying $225 an hour to have a snowplow contract, I can't see a company willing to do this for $50 an hour.
No, I can't see that either.
Right, so we advertise the cost of the roadside mower that's gonna last 15 to 20 years. So we look at that lifespan of that vehicle and the savings that we have from doing it and doing that.
Yeah, well, there's the cost, there's the insurance, there's the maintenance.
The insurance cost is very minimal for municipalities that have extremely healthy coverage, so it's not like adding a vehicle for a small family to pay $3,000 a year for
I
a
understand.
piece of equipment. And we currently have a piece of equipment, so the change in coverage is going to be minuscule. It's not like we didn't have a roadside mower. We're just
So that's my next question. Is there, what would it cost to replace what we currently have? Would we have a tractor and a
if we want to do a tractor, it would probably be $325,000.
So probably be, or what do we know?
The tractors that would be have been more expensive than this max mower that we looked at. Another municipality bought a max mower, and a neighboring municipality actually replaced it with a John Deere and another boom mower. And that boom mower was more expensive. And the roadmaster did look at both. And again, we're kind of going over what we talked about. Have you reviewed the budget workshop meetings where that was kind of talked about?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't here, so that's why I'm asking now.
So would it be okay to ask you to get with Erin and
I think it'd probably be easier.
instead of tying up all this for challenging our business between managers? Do you have a problem with that?
No, absolutely not. I'm happy to meet with.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, on the same side, Mr. Borders.
Thank you. I just have 3 quick points. Just to say. First of all, it's been a long month, and I'm sure an exciting month for some of you, as it has been for me, since I presented my analysis last time. First of all, I want to thank Tracy, Warren, Peter for meeting with me and working me through this. Second point is, so thank you. Second point is results. I wasn't at the budget meeting as well, but I did watch the video and I had some trouble hearing. But I think, Warren, you just said we got a $244,000 projection now for I'll call it a profit.
Correct, and it shows that on the worksheet that's available in the board packet.
Right. So that is a swing, by my calculations, of $800,000 from the budget, which was a deficit budget, and now it's swung to $244,000.
Are you talking about all the information that you came up with?
Yeah.
Well, that's because we already discussed that you didn't have the right information.
No, I got the budget right here.
Okay.
I got the budget right here. It was 566, I believe. 588, excuse me. So, and it's on the website. So I'm not complaining. I'm just making a note of it. And what I'm saying is, it's an extraordinarily remarkable recovery. And congratulations, okay? And so the last point I've got is that I don't know if you do a third quarter forecast, but this is my proposal. I think it would be beneficial for the township when we have such drastic swings on the bottom line in terms of a budget that's a negative and yet a result that's extraordinarily positive with that big of a swing, that we would, if we could do a third quarter forecast, which is essentially what you've done with your new budget projections, so that you know you're coming out 244 ahead, that if that was published ahead of time, like in October, which you've done so far, that it would be useful for calculations and trend analysis going forward. So those are my 3 points. It's just a proposal and a suggestion. It's very common to do those things, and that's it. Thank you.
I believe that here at the beginning of our budget workshops meeting said something to the directive that your information was incorrect, not factual, and false.
I used the
I'm
audit.
not going to argue with you about it.
I am
That's what
not,
you said.
let me respond to your comment. Please. From 20 through 2023, I used the auditor's numbers. And I
You
don't
mixed
think,
the numbers between the DCED report and the other.
No, I did not. I used-
You used mixed numbers.
I did,
We sat down with you, we explained it to you, we talked to him, we talked to you, he looked at your report, he went over it with you, he explained everything, why you were coming up with a different answer. I don't know what to tell you.
I think we need to get together again. I used the auditor's report from the audit company that does this for 4 years, and then the 5th year, I used the budget. Just plain and simple, I used the budget.
Well,
And
I
that's
have
why
to
I'm
say, sometimes you
suggesting
can
that you have a
explain something,
forecast.
but you can't make someone understand it.
I appreciate your time.
I appreciate your time. Okay, is anyone on this side of the room? Yes, Valerie.
Yeah, I have a couple of, well, Valerie Schultz, 165 Caitlin Court. A couple of comments. I find it very disappointing that we're now talking about the concept of possibly removing some of the existing facilities at Umble Park, when this was brought up numerous times by residents throughout the planning stage, that we were concerned about there not being enough parking. We
So
were
now that
told-
we're addressing that, you're concerned that you're mad that we're listening? Is that what I heard?
No, now you're talking about removing existing facilities. People just wanted that fixed. They
You
didn't want
wanted
it
more parking,
removed.
we're deciding how we can get more parking and you don't like it? Okay.
It was the Park and Rec that's bringing this up, it's not us. If you listen to the
This
Warren
should have
statement.
been considered in the plan. That's what I'm saying, Tracy. Thank you for your disrespect. Anyway, the other comment I had is I'm a little concerned. We did talk about whether or not we could fix the generator and the sound system instead of replacing them. I'd like to know if that's been considered instead of us spending money on brand new ones. Is
I
that an
don't
option?
know, the sound systems, how old is the sound system?
It's new with the.
2009.
In regards to the generator, we tried to fix it to the tune of $13,000 in the last 3 years.
And have we looked into trying to fix the sound system? Do we know what's wrong?
They don't have parts for it anymore.
We are having someone come out. I'm gonna meet with them and explain to them what's going on, see if we can fix it, and see what we have to do to upgrade. So the $50,000 is not a fixed number, I don't know what an estimate's gonna be. So as I explained before, it's not a recovery, I budget high from expenditures, and I assume our revenue's gonna be low. Whatever they request or provide to us, we're gonna provide to the board, and it's up to the board to decide whether that investment is worthwhile. But to Kristy's point, the system was installed in 2009, and a lot of the equipment is probably not fixable, but it might be replaceable without replacing the entire system. So I just don't know where it's gonna be.
And finally, I just wanted to know what the status of the Act 537 plan is. A few months ago, when I went to the sewer authority meeting, it was discussed that we have not gotten an up-to-date 537 plan. and the solicitor for the sewer authority had some concerns that there were developments being approved without a valid 537 plan in place. So do you know what the status of that is?
Waiting for DEP to provide comments on our last comments.
And the 537 plan was already being worked on before the developments that are currently coming in.
Quite a few years.
Quite a few years.
And DEP's been a major holdup for the whole situation, and then getting into the DEP, then it goes back to the engineer, then it goes back to the solicitors, and
It
So we
sounds like
solicited-
this has been like years and
Yes.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
it's been
exactly
Correct.
And every time, I say we in general, but we can't get an answer, but then they go and change the 537 plan. So you're still trying to catch up and fix what was broke over here, but they're already making changes here, but they're not answering you what these changes should be, so you're constantly going like this.
Is that something that a local representative could help resolve instead of?
I went to some of the sewer meetings and talking to the engineers on both sides and solicitors. I can't get an answer.
Yeah,
So
just-
everybody's going like this.
It's not uncommon, I mean, with Act 537 plans for it to be a long, drawn-out, tortured process that goes through that kind
But this is years. It
Yes.
just sounds
Yes.
ridiculous.
of, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are
Not
correct.
abnormal.
It is ridiculous, but it is not abnormal, unfortunately.
And to your point,
We are again back waiting for DEP at this stage.
and to your point, this, the part of the sewer system issues that we're having goes back many, many, many years. So the upgrades that we're getting into now, we had them same problems 2008, 2010. So they've moving in nitrate levels and them increased levels. We've been out of compliance for a long time, but only under certain months.
And what I found very disappointing is that the Honeybrook Sewer Authority, when they tried to get a grant, they didn't get it approved, but other local municipalities did. It just seemed like there was a lot of politics at play. Again, I would have hoped that our local representatives would have helped us a bit there because our sewer authority doesn't have that much money in the bank. It's just-
So I think part of it's kicking the can, and I think part of it's not getting answers from the DEP. So I don't think it's specific, in my opinion, in the research I did on it. I don't think it's, could be specifically point at a person or a politician or someone locally. I think it's, there's many people involved, a lot of kicking the cans around and a lot of non-answers. Start with the DEP. And if they're not issuing us guidance, I don't know that you can hold anyone else accountable if you can't get guidance from the DEP.
Is that anything you can help with?
It's a struggle. I mean, I have not been deeply involved in the DEP piece of this at this point. But, I mean, it can be, but it doesn't, DEP works on its terms typically, these things. You know, I have in other places engaged, you know, senators, state senators, your legislative group to try to advocate certainly where there's a result you need to see on the timeline, but it's often a challenge to get movement you need on a timeline that meets what you're trying to accomplish.
And I'll say something that probably nobody wants to hear either is we knew that we had problems way back when, but if no one's going to shut you down or no one's making that threat and you don't need to spend that, I think it was $7 million at the time or $8 million,
No, yeah.
then why spend it? So then keep, well, now it's up to 12 or 13 million, and we're all going to be spending it come January.
But you know, it's, you see that often, you know, nobody wants to spend the money in the moment, but eventually the moment comes where you have to spend it.
Yeah.
This is reaching that point. Everyone's had the benefit of not having to pay the increased rates up until this point, but that may be ending.
Thank you.
Anyone else on this side? Karen?
Yes, Karen has the floors. Two things real quick. One, it was been a few months ago about Umble Park suggesting about getting some cameras there to see who's, making a mess in there and destroying things. And I was shot down by everyone, including Warren, saying that they can't do nothing about it, blah, 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 blah. So now, because the situation occurred, you want to put cameras around everything. My thing is to, do you have like comps from other companies? Have you researched, who's going to give us the better deal? Is there going to be any cameras at Umble Park? Or is that just, just for the township here? Secondly, in regards to the health benefits, who all gets the health benefits?
None of the supervisors do. It would only be full-time employees, and actually, you're not on the health plan, right?
I am not taking any of care.
Okay, so it would just be Kristy and the secretary?
No, the other full-time secretary doesn't take it, so it's the public works.
And how many is in the public works?
5.
That's it?
Anyone else on that side of the room? Kurt?
Yeah, I'm bringing up this thing about Nelms on Coupla Rd again. You guys are going after him, he's cleaning up. Now he's just as bad, or worse than he was before. Stuff all over, right out the road again. There's all kinds of junk out there and everything else. He's in the house next door, he throws the people out. And now he's putting stuff over there, so now you got junkyard stuff in residential. And nobody's doing anything about it. Have you ever rode by and looked at the place?
I drive by and look at it, and I don't disagree with you, and you probably need to talk to that, right?
Yeah, and I will just tell you, without getting into the details of litigation, the township has very recently taken further court action against.
He's back to Sundays again, 8 o'clock Sunday morning, he's out there beating and banging. 8 o'clock at night, he's beating and banging on Sunday morning. He's out there beating and banging when I left,
Well, I think we're not allowed to say anything because it's, right, it's.
I mean, we can, but we're pursuing all the remedies we can.
Well, we had big flyers hired in the building, the green building, and Mike next door he was standing in his garage, making sure if any embers come over, he could put them out on his roof and stuff, It's in a junkyard fire that big. I'd just like to see something done with it, making follow the ordinances.
It probably doesn't seem like we're doing anything, and unfortunately, I can understand that because everything takes so long, but we actually are doing something. Beth is handling it.
Well, he bought the other place on Rainmore Road.
Oh, yeah, we know.
It's just as bad or worse than that one. And like you say, it's getting crazy, man. It's hard to tolerate him anymore. And he comes over to me. My granddaughter, he declared war on my granddaughter, comes on my property. I don't know what's going to happen to him, but he better not never come on my property and do anything like that. And the second thing I got to talk about is Umble Park. Have you ever walked through Umble Park? I walked through there. I found needles, condoms. I found a bag of marijuana and a little baggie with some powder in it. I disposed of it because I'm not waiting 2 hours for state police to come. And what are they going to do? Just take it with them and do the same thing I did, destroy it? I mean, we need a police force, somebody who's going to take care of it, We still need a police force. A regional would be better at nothing at all, and be better than the state police. At least you'd have some response. But the last time I called the state police, it took 2.5 hours for the state police to get there. And they were called at like 9:30 at night. They showed up a little after midnight, and they left at 2:30 in the morning. That's Jerry. He was up the whole time. It's crazy.
All right, anyone else on this side of the room have anything they'd like to say? Jerry? No? Anyone on this side of the room have anything they'd like to say? No? Okay, I'd like to call for adjournment. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Aye. In favor? All in favor? Aye. There's usually
Thursday.
You do, I really expensive.
Usually.
Yeah, give us the, yeah, they want us to give them before you yeah, send it to us, so we have the information. Yeah, we're doing as much as.
My wife does it.
You should send them. I don't know.
Did they do all right? Did they do all right? I didn't tell them where I disposed of, I just said I disposed of it. Right?
Pay taxes.
Voter collection box.